Prince Harry thought he could march back into Buckingham Palace with his children at his side, but instead of a warm welcome, King Charles delivered a brutal reality check. The gates slammed shut, the family turned their backs, and whispers of an explosive custody battle began to spread. Was this a father rejecting his son, or the monarchy sending Harry a final warning? Stay tuned, because what happened next shocked everyone. The moment Prince Harry's return to the UK was announced, the atmosphere around Buckingham Palace turned icy. It wasn't joy, it wasn't excitement, it was suspicion. Whispers spread quickly. Harry wasn't coming alone. Reports hinted that Archie and Lilibet were with him, and that he wanted to bring them through the gates of Buckingham Palace. For Harry, it may have seemed like a chance for a touching family reunion, but inside the palace it was viewed as a dangerous move. When the request reached King Charles, the answer was swift and crushing. No exceptions, no compromises, no family sentiment. The king himself refused to allow Harry's children inside. What could have been a moment of healing became a blunt reminder that Harry is no longer in control. He may call himself a prince, but Charles made it clear. This is the king's domain, and Harry has no power here. But this rejection was only the beginning, and what came next revealed just how far Harry has fallen. Security has always been Harry's sore spot. Every time he sets foot in the UK, the question hangs in the air. How safe is he without the royal protection he gave up in 2020? He fought the Home Office in court, demanding state-funded security, and he lost. That defeat still stings, and this latest trip made the wound even deeper. By trying to bring his children into Buckingham Palace, Harry thought he could bypass the rules, as if family ties would override royal protocol. But Charles's refusal wasn't an act of cruelty, it was an act of sovereignty. The monarchy doesn't bend because Harry feels entitled. It bends for no one. And in that single rejection, Charles reminded his son that walking away had consequences. Harry may have wanted compassion, but the crown gave him cold, immovable authority. And if that wasn't humiliating enough, Harry's next demand revealed something even worse: his arrogance. Charles's rejection alone would have been enough to bruise Harry's ego. But what really stunned the palace was the arrogance behind his request. Did Harry truly believe the king would bend centuries of royal protocol just for him? This is the same man who walked away from duty, who cashed in on his royal title through Netflix deals and a tell-all memoir, and who dragged his own family's name through the mud on global television. And yet, after torching those bridges, he expected the palace to welcome his children with open arms. To many inside royal circles, it wasn't just naive, it was breathtaking hypocrisy. Harry still wants the privileges of royalty, but none of the responsibility. And the more he tries to force his way back in, the more obvious it becomes that the doors of Buckingham Palace are closed for good. But while Harry was stumbling in London, someone else's silence spoke volumes, and it wasn't Charles. While the drama unfolded in London, one figure stayed far away. Instead of joining the trip, Meghan remained in California, watching events from a safe distance. On the surface, her absence looked like a smart move. After all, her presence at Buckingham Palace would only have poured fuel on an already raging fire. But the silence wasn't just about strategy. It raised questions. Was she letting Harry take the hit alone? Was she keeping her distance to protect her own image for Hollywood projects still in the works? Insiders suggest her decision was cold and calculated, designed to shield herself while her husband absorbed the embarrassment. To critics, the quiet distance felt less like support and more like abandonment, and with each unanswered question, the cracks in their partnership became harder to ignore. Yet whispers among legal experts hint that this silence might not be about marriage at all. It could be about something far more strategic. Behind the scenes, the story takes an even darker turn. Some legal experts believe the attempt to bring the children into Buckingham Palace wasn't just about family bonding. It may have been part of a bigger strategy. If he could establish the UK as a base for his children, it could strengthen future custody claims. The logic is simple. If the children are tied to royal grounds, the courts might see Britain as more than just a place for occasional visits. But this theory sets the stage for a dangerous clash. California law favors Meghan, who has never hidden her determination to control the children's future. A battle that pits Hollywood against the crown would be unprecedented, a custody war stretching across continents. For now, it's just whispered, but even the possibility sends chills through the palace. And as if that wasn't explosive enough, his push to involve the children may have reignited old rumors the couple thought were buried forever. For years, speculation has swirled around the births of Archie and Lilibet. Rumors about secrecy, unusual hospital arrangements, and the staged photo ops that never quite added up. The couple has never fully addressed these questions, which only made the whispers louder. By pushing to bring the children inside Buckingham Palace, Harry may have triggered those doubts all over again. Royal watchers argue the refusal wasn't just about protocol, it could reflect deeper unease. Why embrace children whose place in the royal line has never been confirmed with complete transparency? The lack of clarity over lineage has always cast a shadow, and this latest clash only sharpened that suspicion. For a monarchy built on bloodlines and legitimacy, even the hint of uncertainty is dangerous, and just as these whispers began to resurface, the reaction outside the palace walls delivered another blow, this time from the public. If the palace's rejection stung, the reaction from the outside world was even harsher. Tabloids splashed brutal headlines across their front pages: "Duke denied," and "Charles says no." Social media piled on, mocking Harry for trying to force his way back into a system he once abandoned. Memes, jokes, and biting commentary turned what he hoped would be a private request into a global humiliation. And while the noise grew louder, not a single senior royal stepped forward to soften the blow. William stayed silent, Catherine stayed distant, and Camilla kept firmly in Charles's corner. For Harry, the message couldn't have been clearer. He wasn't just denied entry, he was left completely isolated. Once hailed as the people's prince, he was now portrayed as desperate, powerless, and out of touch. But while the public mocked him, there's one person who could still twist this rejection into a weapon, and she's already shown she knows how to play that role. Critics are already predicting how this rejection could be repackaged. Meghan has built a career on turning setbacks into sympathy, and the palace's firm no could easily become her next narrative of royal cruelty. A new interview, a Netflix project, or even a memoir twist. It's all potential ammunition, but the risk this time is different. Audiences aren't as patient as they once were, and the victim card is wearing thin. What once drew empathy now sparks eye rolls. Meanwhile, their brand is unraveling on both sides of the Atlantic. In America, Hollywood projects stall, Netflix contracts wobble, and charity ventures are overshadowed by constant controversy. In Britain, the gates are closed, the family united, and the monarchy stronger without them. What was supposed to be a bold return has left Harry diminished, sidelined, and branded as irrelevant. And if this rejection marks the collapse of his comeback, then Charles's decision wasn't just about protecting the crown. It was about drawing a line Harry may never be able to cross again. King Charles's rejection was more than a personal slight. It was a declaration. The monarchy will not bend, not even for a son who once carried the title of the people's prince. Harry thought he could walk through those palace gates with his children and reclaim some piece of the life he left behind. Instead, he was met with silence, denial, and humiliation. Every move since 2020, the exit to California, the Netflix deals, the memoirs, the attacks on his own family, has led to this moment, a line in the sand, drawn by the king himself. Now Harry stands caught between two worlds, unwanted in Britain, irrelevant in America, with only his fading title to cling to. And at the center of it all are two children, their identities still wrapped in secrecy, their futures shaped by decisions they never made. The palace has made its stance clear. The crown will move forward without him. But here's the real question. Has Harry finally burned the last bridge back to his past, or is this just the beginning of an even bigger battle?